Hello, my dear audiences, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow is hosting. Well, yes, and there are lots of issues to talk about, especially when you enter into a new year. But this year, we are not entering the new year without something very big, without something very new.
Huge.
That is our new president, Donald Trump. Donald Trump takes office. And right now you're looking at 3 weeks after he takes office. And all the 3 weeks, every single day, there is a pack of Trump news. And some of the media even made their headlines or their column, say Trump of the week or Trump of the day, something like that. Okay. And we are not doing that much and the magnitude. We're talking about give it a temporary sum up about what he has been doing for the past 3 weeks. My good friend, Mr. Ken Hamming, is my political commentator on the show, and he is also a trustworthy friend to the community, to the large greater Los Angeles area, and to my friend Ken. Welcome to the show.
Jack, you know how much I love being here, and even more so with your viewers.
Sure. Thank you very much. Mr. Ken Hamming, though a CPA for life, he is a writer himself, he's an educator himself. He holds a seat on the PCC Foundation board. He is also a writer, very famous and best known for his books, Life is Simple, 100 Words to Live By.
I love it.
Which is my Bible.
I love it.
To give a look back retrospectively for the past 3 weeks, what do you see as highlights that you would like to feel necessary to bring to our audience's attention, please?
Well, number one, I'd like to say the last 3 weeks, the first 3 weeks of President Trump's administration have given me greater joy and satisfaction than the first 3 weeks of my daughter's birth. So that's sort of dramatic, and her birthday's tomorrow. So, but still, I guess
tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. Tell her I said happy birthday to her.
I shall. She's a special person.
Thank you.
But I think what I really like about what's happened, and I like about everything that's happened except the hatred and vitriolity thrown against our president, is that he's very able to relax and just ignore the irrelevant noise, because we have the House, the Republican Party. I live for the Constitution. I could vote for a Democrat if they love the Constitution more than the Republican candidate. But that's not what's happening. So and he's just able to ignore pretty much. You know, he'll tweet out things, but ignore pretty much this noise, which the minority of the radical left are very loud. And they are well funded, and so they just show up for choreographed protests or riots or vandalism or damage, he's just moving ahead with his agenda, doing his best to accomplish to start accomplishing what he promised on his campaigns, and now finally we're getting some of the great cabinet members sworn in. We have Tom Price got sworn in this morning, and that's going to be the gentleman in charge of repealing and replacing Obamacare. We have Jeff Sessions, I think will be a tremendous attorney general for our country. So everything takes time. He's been there 3 weeks, and he sleeps 5 hours a night, and he's always working. Except today or this weekend, he's going to be playing golf with Prime Minister Abe from Japan, which is exciting.
That's his first day of leisure.
But it will be a work day because it's with the Prime Minister of Japan.
Yeah, but he picked the wrong party to play with. All right.
Okay.
I don't like Abe.
Well, yeah.
I don't like him.
There's a lot of people, we don't respect or like for different reasons. But yet, the greatest way to try to improve relationships or to bring some more clarity between two countries is to communicate with them. And I think, is to negotiate. And I think Donald Trump will do that. Abe supposedly is bringing 700,000 jobs coming to America.
Do you think Adolf Hitler, if he's alive, Trump would choose to play golf with him?
Well, I don't think that's a moral comparison. So I can't accept that as any validity in moral equivalence.
But
Abi is not a mass
I want to
murder
say
of 6
that
billion.
I personally haven't met Abi myself.
Right.
All right. And I say it on behalf of humanity.
I know.
I don't like him. I dislike him for the fact he's never apologized for the World War II crime.
And I totally agree with you. Now, the only thing I can say, it's not really in his defense, is he wasn't there in World War II, so he didn't make the decisions. But they should apologize, but because
in politics, you're not talking about you. You're talking about your country.
I understand. Yeah.
Understand? Right.
Totally.
Not me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're talking about our California.
Right.
Our America. Right. Not a Shinzo Abe Japan. We're talking about Japan.
Right. But it will.
Do you think that's a mistake for him to choose to play with somebody who is so?
No, I don't.
Controversial.
No, I don't.
At least.
Yeah, no. Golf, it's the same as if he was meeting with him in the Oval Office, because it's communication with purpose. It's not just hitting golf balls and drinking beers.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're right. And to my audience, I would like to share my views, my point of views with you. Once again, whatever I say is my personal, belongs to myself, and doesn't represent G&E TV, EDI as media, no, neither of them, right? So my personal point of view is that, and since it is the first outdoor activity for our beloved President Donald Trump, I just don't think that's a random pick to play, hey neighbor, you want to play golf with me?
Well, it's not random.
And it says, all right, let's do it. It is a mandated, well-planned.
Yeah, it's strategic.
Now, for President of the United States, Donald Trump, to show for the first time his outdoor sports activity, the partner choosing process must be long, lengthy, I would say. Now, for him to do that, and he has done that, is there any message in it?
I guess if there's a message, it would be that he's willing to talk to Putin. Maybe he could do boxing with Putin, who's a very tough guy. He's willing to talk to anybody. We're going to see what's happening. Right now, it's the anniversary of when our embassy was taken over in Tehran, Iran. And right now, it's a day where they have hundreds of thousands of people just burning our flag and chanting, death to America. Of course, Obama loved that, but
I'm so glad that Donald Trump would not choose December the 7th, when the Pearl Harbor Day, to play golf with Abe.
That's true. Well, you know how I feel about what they did in World War II, which was beyond heinous.
Okay, Cam,
incomprehensible.
As we always say, as a slogan, almost as our slogan.
Yes, sir.
That we shake hands, let differences remain. Right?
But don't forget,
I do see huge difference between you and me on the RB take.
That's and look, I believe
if wrong selection.
Well, I know what they did to our prisoners. I know what they did to Nanjing. I know what they did, and it's beyond despicable, and it's shameful to the core to not apologize.
One morning, Pearl Harbor, 4,000
dead.
Men, women, young.
Beautiful people.
Killed within like 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Right.
And for that, our president playing golf with him on his first planned, well-meditated.
Well, what do you think about him?
Sport experiences?
What do you think about him
he would
meeting
say,
with Merkel?
Shinzo Abe, on behalf of Japanese people, express my apology for what we have done, or our generations, forefathers have done.
You mean Abe should say that?
Abe should say
that.
Abe
should say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the point is that he doesn't say that.
Yeah, but our prior president, Obama, went around apologizing for things we haven't done, and so there's a lot of...
No, this is not Obama discussion. This is a Donald Trump discussion.
I know that.
And next time
that's
when
fine.
we pick up someday, do Obama discussion, we'll specifically
That'll
talk Obama about why he bowed to them.
Right. I know.
Okay,
that's right. I totally.
Now, let's separate.
Yeah, that was heinous.
Let's separate orange from apple.
Right.
Right.
That's
so apple's apple. We're talking about the apple. The apple today being the fact that Donald Trump plays golf with somebody at least Jack Chow dislikes.
Right. That's totally understandable.
I believe my audience is most of you, majority of you, would join me in the protest. It is a protest that I want to voice out here, saying that we do not agree. You're at least choosing one party, choosing a wrong party. I mean, unless you have exactly the different message to the contrary that you want to express.
But we hope the good thing is, Abe says that they'll be bringing about 700,000 jobs to America. That would be nice.
No. Okay. I bet.
Okay.
You wait for the hotlines, even today.
Okay.
All right. Latest tomorrow, and see what they say.
Sure.
Okay. We let it pass.
We'll let it rest.
Anyway, our beloved President Donald Trump did his first outdoor experiences in a very wrongful way that I do not agree. All right.
Okay.
Now,
And also, don't forget though, Obama played golf 450 times.
once again, you drag me to Obama.
I know, because I can't forget him.
Next time we put the Jack Chow Day, we talk about Jack Chow never played golf.
I'd like that.
How about that?
I like that.
Okay, very good. Now let's move on, my dear friend. Yes, we'll talk about he used the executive branch's immense authority. These are the messages that I collected on Twitter.
From the radical left.
No, not necessarily.
Well, if
just from
if it's these,
random, just from the random page.
Every one of these is hateful and negative.
Where they might belong
Everyone.
to, that's a different story.
It's not random.
Which I'm too far away to find.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
But we just talk about the
executive
message themselves.
Right.
Okay. Now, say the border issue, border control. Okay, and the cruelty is mentioned, right? And due to the cruelty, thousands are suffering. So, what's your comment about his?
There is no cruelty.
Order?
There is no cruelty. If you don't protect your nation from terrorism, and this one, by the way, refers to thousands of Muslims suffering, that's not true, even close to true. We need our border. If a nation doesn't have a protected border, it's not a nation. We are not a welcome mat to everybody around the world. If people need to be migrated to America, that will enhance our deal. We don't need very unfortunately, but all your poor and all the people that have just massive problems, because that's not our job.
You're not reciting my poems, are you?
Oh, your poems. I know all your poems are great.
My favorite poems.
I've got them hanging around my house.
Oh yeah,
I do
that. Okay,
I do.
Okay, now.
In English.
You were saying, okay, anyway, let's wrap it up for this segment.
There's no suffering from that.
When we come back, when you talk about border control, I would like to dissect the word border control and see if there are layers.
Yes, sir.
Right? So stay with us. My dear audience, we are talking about the first 3 weeks of Donald Trump. If you recall, prior to his inauguration, we had 7 shows talking about his 100-day plan. So third week, only 21 days is about
pretty quick
of his plan.
Yeah.
So we want to really hold him accountable for what he says in his 100-day plan.
Yes, sir.
Now we came to the point about his executive order. I would like to propose for a break, and when we come back, I'll continue sharing with you for his great ideas, great concept. So stay with us, please. Thank you, my dear audiences. Thank you, my lovely friends, you ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Americans. Welcome back to the discussion about the first 3 weeks of Donald Trump in office. Joining me, my good friend, Ken Hemming. Ken is a wonderful individual. I love him, not for without a good reason.
Thank you.
I almost said not for good reason.
Right, I know. I'll take
I
that.
love him not for without a good reason.
Yeah.
He got a beautiful set of mind, and he's very generous minded. He said, well, he will be the last day on the global earth to get upset.
I don't get upset.
In other words, nobody would upset him.
Impossible.
I'm the one just trying every bit I can to upset him. See, he gets upset. All right, good. I will be upsetting you just saying that I would like to dissect the word of border control.
I love that.
Okay, now, speaking of border control, are you saying that there are only 3 solutions, such as the ones in the 3 executive orders and nothing else?
Well, I think, well, probably the biggest part of any solution is getting Mexico to cooperate with us, to patrol their own borders, rather than they've been escorting people through their country from South America and Mexicans themselves, who are wonderful people. So that would be the greatest solution of all, to get Mexico to participate. It also helps their country, you know, and so anyway, that's the number one. The other thing, you know, we have our border guards and that have been kind of ordered to stand down and not really do their job, which is a problem. Because they're very frustrated. They did endorse President Trump, which is the first time they've endorsed anybody. But now their group is going up by about 5,000 people. In ICE, which is kind of the police of illegal criminals in America, is going up with a body count of about 10,000 more people. So, and President Trump will be supporting them in to do their job, and they feel reborn because they've been so frustrated. And President Trump just had maybe 15, 20 of the big sheriffs from the big departments in America in a meeting, you know, reinforcing his support for law enforcement in America, and the police and the first responders of all of the difficult things that happen in America feel happy with the support rather than some of the other negative things about police that have been said about them.
I've never been anybody on that level who will dispatch border control, but there is some concept.
Yeah.
There is some concept I would like to share with you. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I know that you're a man of history. You're almost historian himself.
I try to.
Right? And if we look, if we talk about a country, we'd better look into the nature, the character of this country, of this very country, subject country, and namely, we're looking into the history of such country.
No problem.
No problem, right? Okay, now, take Russia, for example. Take China, for example. Take Australia, for example. Take United States, for example.
Yes, sir. And
China,
I love Australia.
China has one coastal line.
Okay.
Okay, Australia is surrounded by a coastal line.
Okay.
United States have 2, right?
Yes, yes.
Russia has 1.5.
Okay.
Right, towards the Mediterranean Sea.
Okay.
Okay, now, so each of the different surrounding, defines the nature of the country, defines the nature of such nation.
Well, like Australia is an island, so you can't cross the border.
There is no Australia. There is no border issue. There is a water line issue. That's it.
Which is
unless you want to invade, with a war vessel or whatever, right?
Right.
Now, United States has its eastern border, has the western border,
north,
all coastal line.
Right.
And you have a border to the north with Canada. You have a border with the south of Mexico.
Yeah.
However, early in history, we read in school books, say in 1492,
yes,
Christopher Columbus discovered sails ocean blue.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's
okay,
right.
Now, prior to that, that land has nobody else but native Indians.
Yes.
Right? Okay. It is pilgrim from Europe in persecution, getting away from persecution, got into our land, right? That started the first settlers.
Yes, it did.
Am I right?
Yes, it did.
With the first settlers, there came second settlers, the third, on and on and on, And later, the Yorkshire people came to New York, where New York is. They call them New Yorkshire.
Okay.
For short, New Yorker, and for even shorter, New York now.
Okay.
Okay, now.
Because it's new.
Now,
it was a new.
From that point on, you started pushing people westward, westbound. That's why U.S. history is written on wagons.
Yes, it is.
Right? On wagons.
Go west, young man.
All west, all west. Go, go, go.
Right.
So moving is in the blood of Americans. That's what we learn from textbooks.
Yeah.
Now, you have people now coming from Europe, get into East Coast, get into the land. You have people coming from the North, Canadians,
right?
The French, they come down. And you have people from the South, from Mexico, they come down. Okay, now, people coming into the United States is the pattern of this nation, of this piece of land.
Legally.
Legal
is
not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Pretty much.
Christopher Columbus didn't have a visa.
Okay, and that's
The
600 years ago.
The pilgrims on Mayflower didn't have visa.
And for example, you know, I
We
really
let them stay. We let them survive, and they flourish.
And I
Am
really
right?
and I love the Indian nations. Okay, and now the America's our mileage around here, you know, is very sparsely populated by our beautiful Native Americans. Sparsely populated, so there was an awful lot of land available.
And they made it even more sparsely because they pushed them to the west with wars, with pushing, with drivings, with killing. Did you read or did you not read our history books?
Well, let me remind you of one thing, my dear friend. The first Thanksgiving, there were 91 Indians, okay, and there were 53 European Caucasians. And that was a beautiful event they had together. So there was a lot of great cooperation.
The start of our peace-loving beauty.
Yes, it was. It was beautiful. Never forget that.
And more, the second settlers, the third settlers, and newcomers from the north, newcomers from the south, get it crowded, overcrowded, and they, especially
well, it wasn't crowded.
Especially the one who came, the European colonists. They kept on pushing forward to the west, right? Well, and now, this forming the nature of this nation.
And don't forget, if we're interested in history, the Europeans that went into Mexico and South America with their diseases just completely slaughtered and eradicated tribes.
Come on.
Well, they did.
Yeah, okay.
They did.
That is one fact, okay.
Well, it is a fact.
My fact, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California, these 4 southern west states were not our land. We got it through war.
Well, I don't have
General Houston for the war, General Santa Anna for the war, and then they all got the land into this United States. California joined the family, joined the nation only 1851. Okay, now prior to that,
but we had a lot of Americans living there for decades before 1851. It didn't join, it became a state.
Yeah, right.
48, I think.
You're right.
1848.
No. I'm talking about for California, officially, to put a star on the national flag.
Well, I'm not going to go back and feel, guilt from what happened 250 years ago.
I'm not talking about guilt. I'm talking about fact.
Okay, the fact is
that
the history of our immigration to America has been founded on processing.
No.
Yeah.
The fact is that we invaded somebody's land, and the land declared ours after victory. Right?
Well, to the victor goes the spoils.
And then now, all of a sudden, there goes a wall. There goes executive orders.
We're reversing Obama's executive orders, Jack.
Call it cruelty, not for no reason.
I totally 100,000,000% disagree with every breath in my soul. There is not cruelty in protecting your nation and protecting my daughter's head from staying on her shoulders from terrorists coming in here and blowing us up or hurting us. So that is not cruelty. It's common sense protection of our citizens. And I am America First guy, and I believe our citizens, like for example, our veterans in the VA hospital system are treated worse than illegals coming in here getting popsicles for at the border. And that's not acceptable to me.
Are you saying the undocumented 11 million human beings are treated better than our street dogs and street cats?
Yes.
They are?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, very good.
Absolutely.
Once again, I would have to let the difference of man still shake hands with this terrible guy.
You are unarmed, right?
I'm not armed. Are you armed?
I'm weak.
No, all right, good.
I'm a sissy.
I would never do that. I would I'll never end up buying a piece. No, I don't need one.
I do.
Because I'm the one who is loved by everybody. I have no enemy. Nobody hates me unless something wrong.
Well, if you wear your Trump hat and you walk in certain places, they won't love you.
Oh yeah, all right, good.
Yeah.
That's another issue.
And I'll be with you.
That's another issue probably we want to pick up. Today.
Yeah.
All right, good, very good. So decision is that Ken and I, we want to let the differences remain, and we should shake hands. We're determined to go forward.
We certainly are.
Stay with us. Hello, my dear audiences, my lovely fellow Americans. Welcome to the East-West Show. The purpose of creating this show is that we try, at least I try, me and my whole team, trying to bring some concepts of different tastes.
Yes, sir.
Into the American society, into our day-to-day life. For example, between good or bad, is there anything else? Right?
Well, I like neutrality.
Between black and white, are there any colors? Right?
A rainbow.
Okay, a rainbow. All right.
Beautiful rainbow.
I love that. That's a poetic language.
Yeah.
Between death or life, is there anything in between? There might be.
Caregivers.
Caregivers. Or caretakers.
Yeah, caretakers is
Caretakers.
follows caregivers.
All right. Okay. Now we're getting a little funnier. Oh, by the way, just a story of today to just soothe up.
Yes, sir.
About execution.
Yes, sir.
Right, due to the which state? Alabama. Or probably Alabama.
Okay.
And there is an argument about the lethal injection.
Yeah.
And then they came to a conclusion that the law says the victim, the one to be executed,
yes, sir,
by law had the right to choose a way of execution.
I agree with that totally.
Okay.
I really do.
And there was this guy weighing over 400 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And he chose to hang.
Wow. His neck would break real fast.
Yeah, the attorney got a very good argument that by hanging him, you'll just rip his head off his body, right?
Wow.
And yet by law, he has a right to choose. And now that he chooses by law, in the name of law, and now that becomes the only way of execution.
Holy cow.
And that execution, which will cause the head to be ripped off from the body, now he got a case.
Oh my goodness.
The guy survived.
Well,
do you think I just bring the story in for no reason?
That's very interesting.
For no reason?
I'm sure not.
Yeah, all right.
All of your life has a purpose.
I just want to indicate everything. If you really want to argue, there is a case.
And just speaking personally, I would choose the firing squad because it's instant. I think electric chairs can be torturous, and I think
this
sometimes
guy didn't want to die. He
didn't want to die.
He knew how much he weighed. He knew all the fact, and the attorney got all the fact and put into argument. They won.
Well, I have a solution for it. You just stop feeding him until he gets down to a weight that the head stays on.
He didn't choose that.
Yeah, because he wouldn't want to be alive if he couldn't eat.
All right, good. I want to make a point.
Yes,
you want to argue, you can always argue till end of the world. Now, you just mentioned about protest.
Yes, sir.
I mentioned protest. You mentioned that if you are wearing a Trump hat, you walk into certain areas, you get into trouble.
because
you get yourself into trouble.
the radical left has adopted violence as a tool.
My question is, why would something happen like that?
Well, I have my opinions. Why the violence is so easily begun by the radical people in America that really don't like our form of government. They're not into. They don't want capitalism. They don't want to follow our constitutional guidelines, and I really think that a lot of them, I don't know what percentage of radical activists are Christian or not, okay? But most Christians don't endorse violence, and a lot of it is the school system. We hope that will be improved now with Secretary DeVos coming in. That might give greater opportunity for very poor people, white, black, green, and yellow. Hopefully, yeah, because poverty has no color. Okay, it's reality, and so it's. Like I wear my Trump hat, and I've had nothing but nice stuff happen to me, which is nice because it also helps if you wear it and you've always got a smile on your face. That does help. But it's the violence that there's not protests, they're really riots now. Many of them, I believe, and I believe it would be true, financed by George Soros. Soros is billionaire, radical guy that is an open border guy and hates America.
That's why he declared Soros as one of the bad guys of the United States.
I think he's one of the bad guys of the world. I do. And he's in trouble in his homeland and here. He's got dual citizenship. But anyway, there's money, okay? They pay these guys.
And why is he wrong? Why is he a bad guy?
Why is he wrong? Because number one, he plans violence. His purpose is the overthrow of our system of government in America. Now that's bad. That's anarchy. Anarchists are, he's an anarchist toward America, and if that's not bad, then I don't know what is bad.
Do not label anybody.
Why? It's the truth.
Before homework, before studying.
I have done my.
What did Soros do to make himself deserve that much?
Well, if you allow me to bring a list of things, I shall. He finances violence. He finances the desire to overthrow our America. He probably would finance any extreme activity that has a negative impact on America.
Not what he would finance.
He does.
He has.
He does.
He has financed.
He does, and he finances the very most radical candidates for office in America. And so I think I believe he'll be less relevant in 4 years because I think he'll be sort of pushed away a bit.
All right. Once again, we let the difference.
By the way, too, the interesting thing is he's a billionaire, and he lost $1 billion on shorting the market, assuming Trump would lose. He lost $1 billion, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for it.
I can't say that I like what you're saying.
What's wrong with it?
You have the freedom to say it, and
but what's wrong with
I would fight with my life to protect your right of saying what you want.
Which is important. The First Amendment. The left does not do that.
I do not agree with it. I do not agree with it.
You wish he'd made $1 billion.
I wish you would not say that. I wish you would not say that, please.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, it is the truth. He lost $1 billion. That's just a factual statement with no political message.
Okay, anyway. I'll let you enjoy your freedom. I'll move on. How about that? What's your comment about the fact that the court rules and the Trump orders?
Well, here's what's happened. When you got a little nice black robe on, you think you have immeasurable power, and many of them do. And so what's happened is what I call judicial tyranny, and the Democratic Party, they search for judges that will support whatever they want to do, whether it's constitutional or not. So this Judge Robart that made the first initial decision against Trump's order to protect us, okay, which is what I believe it is. Then we have this lawsuit, and you have the Ninth Circuit Court which I call the Ninth Circus Court because it's more of a circus, but about 80% of all of the different court rulings that have been overturned have come from this very radical, liberal, California-oriented circuit court. Okay, circus
that's
court.
nice district.
Yeah, right. And so they just choreographed exactly what happened, which is fine. They planned it, they executed, and now I think what should happen, and there could have been more precision in how they rolled it out. Okay, but still, I think you don't announce how you're going to try to protect America. You protect America, then you explain it. But so I think there'll be another executive order. I don't think this should go to the Supreme Court, but it probably will. That Trump ought to just abolish this order and then do another one in a form that is more likely to pass.
Okay, let me bring this down to a third grade level.
Yes, sir. That's good. I love that because that's how
I go back to third degree.
I love that.
Mean
third
grade.
level,
Okay, now.
third grade.
Okay, now the same thing sounds like there is a box. It might hold 5 or 4 chocolate in it.
Yes, sir.
Right. I make you guess.
Right.
You guess 5 or 4
right.
chocolate.
Right.
And the other 4 could be, say, just the rubber balls.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, now, you guess 5, I guess 4. It's a 5 against 4, 4 against 5.
Right.
Like that.
Right.
Okay. Now the number in this case, the numbers are affixed already there.
Okay.
Right. Now, in the reality, the model is shifted to upside down.
Okay.
The number is never known. There are 9 people saying.
Okay.
Right? Okay, now, are you saying that they do the guesswork just like you and me did with the box of chocolate and the rubber balls? Or each of the bill of the order or what it has hundreds, if not thousands, of pages for them to read?
Well, the pages aren't long. This is a very short directive. However,
right.
when a judge, whether it's a Republican or Democrat, I don't care, when a judge puts his ideology above the law, that's a bad person. Okay, I don't care, it's a Republican, Democrat. If you put ideology, if you supersede the law with your ideology,
yes.
Republican, Democrat,
I agree.
Independent, you're a bad
exactly
person.
What I want to say.
You're a bad person.
What I want to say. No.
Right.
And then before they deliver their take, their vote, right? They read what's going on, rather than you and me. In our case, we're guessing with the box number in the box, which is affixed. Right?
But often, in my opinion, they don't even need to read because they already know what they want to do.
Of course.
That's
they do not even know what's going on with them. They do not even deserve the seat.
Right, that's right. Well, many judges don't deserve, Republicans, Democrats, anybody
Altogether,
don't deserve
I'm
their seat.
talking about a situation
Right.
that you have 3 orders going on. The 3 orders, each of them, and now 8 of them, has read and got into the extent, right? That's why the court rules and delays it, suspends it.
Well, that's not the reason.
Couldn't be done
Their
for-
reason is
for no
ideology.
reason?
No, the reason is ideology. They don't like the law.
ideology.
They don't like the law. It was there's only like 57 words that gives the
And
president
it
power
goes-
to protect
it
our
goes
individuals.
inclusive, okay, they don't like the law because they do not like the law, and because
But
they have
when they swear in
they
to
have
be a
wrong
judge,
concept.
they have the obligation to follow the. Well, they do.
all right.
They don't have an obligation. They don't have freedom to let ideology.
You wait and see.
Oh, I'm not worried about it at all. It's just a speed bump.
Can you wait and see? I bet $1,000 on that.
That what?
That who will win? Who will win?
The
Trump's
American
order,
people
Trump's
will win.
No, Trump's order, or
Trump's process of protecting
the court ruling.
Trump's process of securing American safety more so than it is now will prevail.
I just
it will prevail.
I just invite you to bet with me. Let's not do 1,000.
Well,
let's do 100.
Yeah, okay.
Probably
if it gets to the
$1,000
Supreme
scares you.
Court, if it gets to the, it doesn't scare me. I have it in my pocket right now because I
Okay.
just went to the bank.
Okay.
No, if it goes to the Supreme Court, the power of the president will prevail. The lawful power of the president will
till
prevail.
the very, very, very end
Yeah.
of the day.
So we got $100.
$100.
Yeah,
Okay, very
absolutely.
good. Okay. With the bed, we'll wrap up this segment and we'll continue. All right. So stay with us, please. Hello, dear folks. Welcome back to the discussion about Donald Trump. It is on the third week, or wrapping up the third week of Donald Trump in office, and this is a versus to our previous action of having done seven shows on the Donald Trump 100-day plan. We are checking points. We're doing the box checking of all the things listed below is 100-day plan. And joining me is my good friend, Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming is a very wonderful individual that I love him unconditionally, in spite of the fact that he argues with me all the time, sometimes with a red face.
Great training.
Eyes pop like this, the ears kind of flesh stretched. I still like him a lot because he is a philosopher. He has a set of brain that works.
I hope so. I try.
And once again, welcome to the show. I enjoy arguing with you.
I love your viewers so much, Jack. You know that. And your soul and your personality are just joyous.
Thank you for saying that. Vice versa.
So joyous.
Vice versa. Last thing I want to check with you is about the. Okay, forget Trump for a little bit.
Right.
Because he said that even before his inauguration that he would set himself away, cut himself off
Yes.
from the family business.
Correct.
Right. And last week I was in Vegas. From the window,
Yes.
I'll see Trump Tower.
Yeah, I've stayed at Trump Tower there.
Right?
Because there's no casino there, and it's very affordable and very, very nice.
Okay, and I couldn't help thinking about the man who put this tower up.
Right.
Okay, and now
Right.
President, however controversial. Okay, now, well, news came about as of yesterday that his daughter, Veronica.
Ivanka.
Ivanka, I'm sorry. His daughter Ivanka has some problem with the Nordstrom.
Well, Nordstrom has a clothing line and some beauty lines in that, and they have decided to cancel and no longer sell her lines in their stores. Now, if it's a statement against Trump and his policies, if that's what I conclude, which is probably the truth, I will never shop in Nordstrom's again, just like I will never go in Starbucks again. Starbucks says we want to hire 10,000 refugees. And there's another place called Black Rifle Coffee, and they want to hire 10,000 veterans. I will not go in Starbucks. I will not go in Nordstrom's. If they're expressing their political beliefs, which also applies to things like Google and all that. Okay, Zuckerberg, these guys, I do despise them for their just obvious hatred of our system. Okay, but so now in Ivanka, I think she is helping Trump as an assistant. Okay, so I think she's not doing her business anymore. The brothers are. They're running the empire. This is her empire, which she's probably just, not doing anymore. She doesn't need to do it, and she has disavowed business activities while she's working with the president. And in Trump's, I don't know what he said about that. I'm not sure. No need to say much, but if these organizations are expressing their political beliefs through what they're going to sell in a free enterprise America, it's no longer a free enterprise America.
Of course, without looking at
That's
the
true.
contract, you will not know.
Right.
If Ivanka is right or Nordstrom is right.
Right,
Okay,
but
now-
it appears,
And the thing, at the end of the day, the contract has to be made clear. So by contract,
Yeah.
do they or did they not have the right of terminate or
oh, they have the
or
right.
giving up the line?
They have the right.
Right? They
Yeah.
have the right. Now that we assume that we can take his reading that Nordstrom had the right to do so, what's wrong?
Well, what's wrong is you're not supposed to use your free enterprise business power to politicize against policies you don't like.
How? To what extent? How?
Well, I'm not saying it's legal, okay, but I think that, there's 67 million people that voted for Trump. I recommend never go into a Starbucks again. And they are doing that now. And look at NFL, okay? The National Football League, their ratings are way down 20% because they let guys, take a knee during the national anthem and they're not punishing them for it. The people of America, like me, I'm a Mid-American guy born in Chicago, don't like that. So I don't need to watch that. I haven't watched another game. I looked at the highlights of the Super Bowl, but that's all. Because I'm not going to be damaged by it.
Don't confuse the national anthem guy, right?
Guys, some more
guys,
than one.
some
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
right? Don't confuse that extent with the Nordstrom.
Well,
right?
there's one
because, to common understanding, to common law, you have to stand there, salute to our flag when national anthem is being played.
It's our
It's our
patriotic
tradition,
right.
It's tradition.
Right.
It's a basic understanding all rules you
Right.
learned when you were 3 years old.
Right.
Something like
That's
that.
right, very basic.
Now, the Nordstrom is Nordstrom's contract is totally different from that. They have their own take. Whichever way they go, nobody is deserving to criticize them.
That's not
Am I
true.
right?
No. Criticism is a part of America. That's
No,
part
no.
of the free
To-
speech.
To
Speech-
point a
speech.
finger, criticism. Does criticism include finger pointing
Of course.
or names calling?
I'm not calling them a name. I'm saying it's the dumbest business decision I can dream. Now, maybe they're not making money on Ivanka's line. That I have no problem.
Yeah.
Then they need to come out and say
And then
economic.
what if they terminate the contract after they see no money as interest coming in with the Ivanka?
Well, as long as you terminate the contract in accordance with the agreement, with the contractual agreement,
Yeah,
I
of course.
have no problem with
And
that.
so far, according to the report, without having to look, having seen exactly the contract is, and the report says that they did it right and within right extent, a lawful extent, a contractual extent. There is nothing wrong with that.
Well-
And this morning, Donald Trump says that Nordstrom is so political.
Well, it appears to be the truth.
How could a company be political and president not be?
Let me tell you, I'll tell you this.
How
Our
could
president,
How could a business firm be political and president's daughter couldn't be?
I'll tell you the difference.
Mm-hmm.
I believe President Trump serves all the people of America. He serves to improve the lives, determines to improve the lives of these despicable, radical, violent-oriented people just as much as he wants to improve our life. He's serving everybody. And of course, he's not a typical Republican, as you know. But here's the other
On
deal.
my side, I would say that I support Trump for two facts. Number one, we have a constitution to go by.
Yes, we
right?
do.
That's right. Constitution. I have
That's
nobody
our
else.
president.
I have no
Yeah.
other president to choose.
Yeah.
But follow him.
I
right?
serve
This is
President
number
Constitution.
one.
Yes.
Number two, whatever he does right,
Yeah.
I go for it.
Right.
Right. And somebody, I don't have to mention that it is you or the group of people
Anybody.
that you represent.
Yeah.
You support him because he is Trump.
No, I support him because I believe he will make America a stronger,
Yeah, I
safer
know
place
that, I
and
know
a
that.
better.
Just because of that belief, right?
Yeah, but
And why
nothing to
don't
do
you
with him.
issue to issue on this Nordstrom
Oh, I
issue?
will.
Why do you support him? Which part do you support him? Because he's a president. right?
If a big business makes a decision based on their political ideology, I will not spend my money
Okay,
there.
let's
but
assume,
also,
let's
there's some.
assume.
But
Let's assume if Nordstrom did make a decision
Right.
with their political take,
Right.
though, what's wrong with that?
They can do that, and their business, I hope, suffers.
Okay, and then
words have consequences.
You decided never to buy Nordstrom, right?
Yeah, and I hope I'm not alone.
And by doing so, are we dividing ourselves or uniting ourselves? Are we helping economy or are we not helping economy?
Well, I'm going to help.
Are we saying this is positive stuff or negative stuff?
My money will be spent in places that I appreciate more. Now, the other thing, another reason I'm against.
And then when you say your money, will be
my
spent
money.
in your way.
I have a free choice where to spend
and
it.
I say I would insist I'm spending my money in my way.
Of course,
and then we are further divided.
But there's
why would Americans spend their money in the American way instead of your way, my way, your political way, my political way? No. How about the American way? This is where I feel hurt.
Well, okay, but let me just
please read my mind.
I'm not hurt by it. I'm just not going to support them financially when they make ideological decisions that are in contravention to my dedication to the Constitution.
And people on the other side of the aisle would say exactly the same thing.
But because they don't like the Constitution.
The more phenomena like that we see, the more divided we are.
We have not, whatever the Republicans have not created the division.
Why don't we choose to do the American way rather than the political way?
Well, but let me also say, don't forget, another reason I won't watch football. Wait, let me, Jack, two guys from the Super Bowl winning team are refusing to go to the White House. Yeah. They are despicable.
My dear audiences, I really want you to understand, to read my heart. I believe my heart is hurt very much at this moment. I don't say who's right, who's wrong. People on the left are right, on the right is right. No. I'm saying that why are we having to do the left and right thing?
You could, Jack.
And then I have no problem. He buys his coffee with Starbucks or not Starbucks, Nordstrom or Nordstrom. I say, why would normal Americans even choose to spend their money politically? The more that we see, the more divided we are. That's why, my dear audience, we're hurt, and that's why my heart is hurting. My dear audience,
my heart feels great.
We are. Thank you very much. We are over time with Ken having. I'm having good time, and sadly, I'm having good time anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see you next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you.